Yeah. Evening going. Shoot, geez, let's restart. Evening, everybody. It's Sunday, January 9th, 2022. And we're glad to have everybody here. Got a poll out there, which is kind of interesting. So I'm going to say it right off the bat because who knows? Even though you are in the comfort of your own home voting and all that stuff, maybe you want to be a herd voter and say, you know what? Most people are voting this way. I'm going to vote that way. Hang on a second. Let me stop that, Gerry. You know what? Most people are voting this way. I'm going to vote that. All right. Here, Hidden Freedom, and welcome back to another video. All right. Okay, sorry about that. I always forget to go to that other side because I can't get to the poll without that. Anyways, people tend to vote, the way a lot of other people vote. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting phenomenon. And it's not just with that too, it's just herd mentality in general. But let's see, how many votes do we got out there right now? I think there was 14 earlier. We got 22 out there now. So I don't want to spoil it, but go out there and get your vote in. We'll look at that in about an hour or so. So hopefully you had a great weekend, Gerry. I know I was talking to you last night a bit. And honestly, last week is super easy for me options wise. So where are my numbers now that I think about it? Trying some new stuff out. I know you are too. We'll talk about that a bit. Looks like Gerry, good old, well, we got both Gerrys here today. Got trusty Gerrys here. And we'll get to your questions in a moment. We'll go through shout outs and all that. So let me go through my week. And like I said, it's going to be short. And then Gerry will go through his. I know he might have some new updates or something for us. So maybe not. So I didn't take anything off last week at all. Okay. But I did put some stuff on, or at least one thing on. So last week, let's see here. Let's see, 5th. So I put a TQQQ on the 5th. And I went down to a 110, got $213 for that. I just put one on. So that was I think that was a 44 DTE. And then I put an SOXL on the 7th. So that was Friday. I put a 40 strike on there, $1.70, 49 DT on that one. That's actually going out to February 25th. So I don't know why I did that. I just figured it opened up and it could get all the way down there. Why not do it? $1.70 I got for that. Put one of those on. That's all I did last week. So at this point, I got $137,000 of notional nominal value, Gerry. And let's see here. I have 34,000 in maintenance margin, 11.5% buying power used, 3,800 cooking, nine open positions, 14 contracts total. So still running light. And honestly, if the market sells off even more this week, which it possibly could, the SPY definitely could go down a little bit more to kind of match what the Qs are doing, then I might put one or two more things on. I can afford it at this point. Still running light. Not too worried about it, even though I'm down pretty significantly in some of my positions, down 104%, 91% in the TQQs and some of those. But that's fine. It's part of the game, and we'll continue to play it out. But that's all I really got. Didn't take a damn thing off, Gerry.
Jeez.
Yeah, tell us how your week was. Tell us what you took off. Tell us what you put on. Tell us what you rolled. I know you were in some hot water and a few things and all that. So
yeah, I'm actually in hot water on quite a few things, but those don't expire until the 21st. So I got some time. So there are a few that I'll probably proactively roll. I did one last week, which was I think lemonade. I think I rolled what did I roll? I rolled a 35 put down to a 30 and a 25. So got, collected another $100 or so, something like that. I also got a TQQ, sold a TQQQ out to February 18th, did the 115 strike, got 225 for that one. And then the SOXL, Dave did the parrot job on me. I did the same one, but I only got $1.65 for it. So Dave got an extra $5 out of it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
But last week I closed out 9 positions, open 9. Closing realized profit, even with the roll, was $279.20. Open 9 more positions for $903.85 of new premium. Currently have $4,162.65 of premium cooking, and I would imagine if I keep rolling some of these, if I do, that number will start to climb a little bit more. Right now, maintenance margin 24,700, net lick right at 120, so right about a 20% buying power use. So overall, not too bad. Luckily, I don't have anything expiring this week, so we'll just see how the market goes. And I still got room to put some stuff on too, so we'll see how it works. But I'm going to be proactive. I mean, I'm not going to just willy-nilly throw some stuff out there. But I didn't really do much because even those open positions, I said I opened 9. 2 of those was the roll. 1 was the SOXL. One was that TQQQ, and just a few others, my usual stragglers in there like Dutch Bros, SoFi, put a Coles on. So just small 1 contract positions there. But eventually, like Dave was alluding to, I might try some new things, but not necessarily new. But I really want to go kind of the Dave route in a way. We've been talking about this for probably months now, of just doing indexes only. And that's kind of where I would like to end up, hopefully in the next couple of months, when I can work through some of these rolled positions, challenge positions, and whatnot.
It's interesting to get everybody's take on that because, in the Discord, it's like people just don't get excited about doing the indexes. I don't know what it is. To me, money's money. You know what I mean? But there's just not it's almost like dividend stocks versus, ETFs. It's like people just don't get excited about ETFs for some reason. I don't understand why, yeah, you can make more money with individual stocks, but they're probably more riskier too in general, but
absolutely.
So I know that because every day I see your post, of what you took off, not what you took off, but what your gains are for your realized basically. And I noticed that you said, "Oh, I rolled some." I'm like, your realized loss that day was very small. So did you pair it off with some gains that day?
No, that 1 rolled position wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. I was just proactively getting into it to lower that strike just in case. So that wasn't really, it was challenged. It was in the money by 50 cents. So it wasn't a horrible position. I just wanted to take that opportunity to get that strike down lower just in case.
Did you happen to look at a chart or you just kind of went with what you could get?
Yeah, we were talking about lemonade, so it's just like a freaking meme stock. So charts almost don't matter in those instances. So the better, because when I first put it on, I think it was like $45. And that was good support levels at the time. So now they're in the $35 range, and there is no real floor there. I mean, there is, but it could get ugly. We're talking, almost a meme type stock. So sometimes those support levels don't really come into play on those kind of stocks.
Yeah, hopefully everybody survived last week. Definitely looks like there could be more downside, especially if the SPY drops through that 50 period moving average. There is a lower trend line there that it's heading towards or could head towards. And who knows if this time it'll hold up. It could very well try to hit that like 455 area. And then who knows, it might even this time, because of all the headwinds, from the game, Gerry, that it could very well test the 200 this time. You know what I mean? You just never know. But the SPY definitely looks, I don't know. If it drops to that 50, it definitely could. It already tested it a couple times, and that just every time it tests it more, it gets weaker and weaker every time. So I'm not holding my breath. Just play it smartly. Definitely looks like the Qs are weak. It is sitting on a pretty decent support level now, but it could drop as well, going down to that roughly 373 area or something, and then maybe even testing that 200. A little bit more down, and then some of my stuff will be in the money as well. So, and then let's take a look at the Russell, Gerry. That's your favorite. So,
yeah, Russell down about 3% last week, something like that, 3.5%.
So the Russell's got pretty solid support right around that 210 to 212 area, which is kind of heading back down towards now. It's the SPY that'll probably dictate a lot of things this week, but
the Dow was unusually strong.
Lots of rotation into value, lots of rotation into just in general, more solid plays, I guess, more dividend paying stuff, large cap. You can definitely see the rotation for sure. Bonds
Definitely what we said last couple streams ago. Value and yield, I think, is where people are heading this year.
Yep. And then, you got the 12. Yeah, you got the 12-year note, Gerry. The 10-year note keeps climbing. I think mortgage rates hit 3.6% or something like that. Average mortgage rate for a 30-year note. So, they're going up, and hopefully the good government doesn't freaking pass that bill, which would increase inflation more, which would probably freaking make them move even faster and more aggressively, which is going to tank the market. So the market's already getting gun shy a little bit. I still think it's going to be an okay year, but let's take a look at the votes, see what we got in there. I'm not going to talk about the votes, but so we got 38 votes in there. Get your vote in. Get your vote in. So
remember, you get your sticker if you get a vote.
Get your sticker in there, and make sure that you better get your vote in there before we change the voting rights. So let's go through some people we got in here. We got Gerry going on, trusty old Gerry here. And evening to you. What do we got here? All good. All good. Evening, all good. We talked all good last night. She parroted me, by the way, which I parroted Gerry. So did she get like 175 or something, or she didn't say it filled or whatever, or what?
No, I think she got 170 as well.
Yeah, she tried to beat. Yeah, she would have posted that too, because she hasn't posted anything in months. But she would have. She beat me out. She would have posted that. I guarantee freaking to it. I know how you are. All good. Options talk tonight. What do you do when you're stuck in a few bad sold puts on good names, Affirm, Square, Roadblocks? You call those good names?
That's kind of what I was talking about right now, right? On Lemonade. So those are the kind of stocks like those that people are rotating out of. And that's why I took that opportunity on Lemonade to try to get rolled down when you can possibly do it. So I went from, $35 down to 30 and a 25. So I doubled my position possibly, but at least, I gave myself some cushion there. So that's the type of thing that you'll have to deal with these kinds of names.
Now, Gerry, don't get me wrong. Those are okay names. I wouldn't call them like, I don't know if I go as far as call them good, but Square's solid. I'll give Square that. But Roadblocks, Affirm, those are, less than stellar. I don't know what the word to use. it's probably not as bad as like Eliminate or something like that, I'd say, but they're definitely not my cup of tea. They're riskier plays, I guess. Square's solid, but it's pretty damn volatile. You got a lot of you got crypto, a lot of crypto crap going on lately, and PayPal, Square just sell off 5% one day, and then they're up, and it's like then they're down. And I just try to get out of that crap. But they're not completely junk positions here. Don't get me wrong, but just stuff that other than Square, because Square is a solid company. The other two, in my opinion, are just untested kind of companies. Roadblock. I mean, they've been around for a while. Don't get me wrong there either. But what do you do when they're So what do you do when they're stuck in a few bad solve? So you haven't taken the positions yet, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. Just wait until it gets to sign, then you can do the stock repair strategy. James talks about that all the time. As long as you believe in the position and you think it's going to recover at some point. Let me take a look at some of those, Gerry. Affirm. I know Affirm was on the daily movers list this week. What the hell's the Affirm?
Damn.
Let's see here. Ooh.
Yeah. We had the
Looks
same
like it's
reaction.
going to try to maybe close that gap down there at 74. Well, the gap's technically all the way down at 68. Ugh. Big old short float. Down. It's already down 20% year to date, Gerry.
Yeah.
Drop below that 200 period moving average. I'm talking about Affirm, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
looking
just
at.
see more downside. I don't really. I see it closing that gap. I mean, to me, it looks like it's a beeline right towards the gap. It tends to be a magnet.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it could go to that 200 or that not the 67. That I don't know what is that there. The $70 range right there, right below that gap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about the number way back, but yeah, there's like it kind of did a little gap up. Well, it did a gap up. It was probably earnings or something. The gap up in August all the way up. So it definitely looks like it wants to close the gap. It is a somewhat, I don't really know much about the company. I know James brought it up one day after the stream and said he's used it when he was working and stuff. But to me, it looks like it's a little more downside there. And it is sitting on a very weak support right here, at least going back all the way to April. Especially if we have any freaking turbulence in the market, stuff like this is the first thing to dump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else we got? Square. Let's look at Square. I haven't looked at Square in a while.
Square looks like it's sitting. It needs to hold this line right here.
Yeah. Square really doesn't have a lot of support all the way down to like the 80 level, really. It's kind of sitting right around support, but
Right.
it's just an overvalued name, though. It's got a high short. Like, why does Square have such a freaking high short float? It's acting like a meme stock, and it's a pretty darn solid company. I don't know what your strikes are on these, Gerry. That's kind of a question too.
I think when times like this, when there's headwinds like this, especially economy wise, these stocks, earnings and price to earnings, valuations, those things really come to the forefront of what people are looking at, and that could be what's driving a lot of these non-earning stocks or high price to earnings stocks down.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna be challenged this year compared to anything else, in my opinion. Growth stocks maybe after that, and then value stocks have been pretty darn solid. Let's take a look at Roblox here. I'm looking at it here, and it looks like that's going to close the gap as well. It's not that far off, honestly.
No.
I'd say it's pretty darn solid right around that 75 area, though.
Yep.
It should hold up right around the 75, unless the market just decides to just dump. Yeah. It's actually better off than Square, which is kind of interesting. That's saying something. I don't know what your strikes are on these, Gary. Hopefully they're not too, hopefully you're not in the money already. Geez. Hopefully you're kind of just getting close, maybe just getting you a little bit, spinked or, tightened up a bit. I don't know. Let's see. What do we got here? Good evening, everyone, or all 8 of us. There's 44 of you on here now. It's cold and snowy in Connecticut, going to freeze, and I have to drive the convertible tomorrow.
Why do you have to drive the convertible tomorrow?
There's a pet peeve with convertibles with me, Gerry, because I've owned 2 convertibles, a convertible Porsche and a convertible Mustang. It's a pet peeve of mine when people do top-down windows up. It's so odd to me. You got the top down, but the side windows are up, and it's like it's a pet peeve. When I see that, I just can't help but laugh. So guess what, Gary? I'll give you permission to roll the windows up and leave the top down for tomorrow since it's gonna be so cold. Or have the top down, the windows up, and the heaters on full blast.
There you
It's
go.
kind of funny. My Corvette was Targa, right? So the roof would come off. Of course that did fly off doing 40 miles an hour, by the way, one time, but that's a different story. It flipped up in the air. It looked like I was going to eject somebody out, basically. But I drove that in the rain with the top off. As long as you go fast enough, the rain would just go over it. So. Let's see here. Yeah, we're pretty cold out here too. We had a little bit of a snowstorm on Thursday night. Wednesday night, and we're up to the 30s today. But yeah, it's definitely it's winter. We are officially in winter. CMFW. What's going on, Carrie? Gino, what's going on, Gino? Hi, Gerry. Hi, Dave.
CMFW. Long time no hear.
Yeah. Adarox. What's going on, Adarox? He must have been busy. I haven't heard him talk on Thursday night quite a bit lately. Mark Ryan. What's going on, Mark Ryan? What is everyone's thoughts on this week? That's a good point. The markets are pretty much flat right now across the board. The Dow's down the most. Everything else is kind of flat. Even crypto is kind of flat. I was hoping that freaking thing would tank even more. Hunk of shit. Yeah, what do you, Gerry? What do you think is going to happen this week?
I don't know. I just expect volatility. I think that's what we're going to have. I mean, I don't see anything like March of 2020 happening, but I can see just general up 3%. Oh, we're down 3% the next day. That type of thing.
I definitely see that. Well,
nothing. I don't. Overall, though, my prediction, my guesstimation, my worthless thought is we end up probably around flat this week.
I don't know. So earnings should be kicked off, right? Should be kicked off. It gets kicked off by financials usually. Let's take a look at JPM and take a look at that one here. JP Morgan 14th. Okay, so that's probably when the official kickoff, somewhere around there is my guess. Let me go FinViz. Let's see. Yeah, there's not a lot of earnings. Well, I'm going to take that back. Let's take a look at this. Earnings for this week. Let's see if it says anything in there. Nothing real big, really. So maybe it's next week. Looks like maybe Bed Bath & Beyond, one of Gerry's favorites. Yeah, there's nothing real big this week. So I bet you next week is probably the official kickoff week.
I'm not on my Bed Bath & Beyond, so.
I believe Monday is a holiday. Is that a holiday for the markets, Gerry?
Say what?
Let me see. It's Martin Luther King Day. I don't know. I think that, pretty much like all the banks are closed, but I don't think the market's closed. Let's see here. I have the day off, so my last official day off before I quit.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. Holiday.
Yep.
Is it a market holiday?
It's a market holiday, January 17th.
Damn it. Darn it. What am I going to do, Gerry?
I don't know. Gosh.
So we don't have to worry about earnings really this week. So next week will be official kickoff. I don't think that there's any, I don't think there's any Davos meeting or Black Beige book meeting or anything like that. Is there any? Let me see. When is the next Fed meeting? Let's take a look here. Economic news.
Can you actually listen to them?
I listen in, yeah. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Really, honestly, the minutes aren't really important to me. It's just whatever they do. Like the minutes come out after or whatever. And it's like I'll listen to Powell or whatever, but I mean he's so political at this point, like he's kind of just trying to dance the line and not really, Yellen did the same thing. So Bernanke did the same thing. So
I don't see anything crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't expect much this weekend this week. It's kind of sad. We have, Martin Luther King Day. Honestly, this is the first company I've ever worked for, and they just started doing it too. No company I've ever worked for is give you Martin Luther King Day off. So it's kind of odd. And then, free day, Gerry, free day. The stock market's closed, so I don't know what to do though.
Yeah, I don't get holiday pay. Come on.
Yeah. Well, take something off on Friday, and that'll be your holiday pay,
I guess.
So as far as this week is concerned, I'm kind of with Gerry. I don't expect a lot of news unless you get Biden on TV saying something or some virus news comes out. Some new. Actually, there already is a new variant. There's probably a ton of new variants that people don't even know or they haven't brought up yet. But unless something like that comes out, then that could be a problem. But I don't really expect too much turbulence. So looking at the markets here, the SPY is down 2.8% of the year so far from its high. And that started late last year. And then the Qs, Gerry, the Qs are down 7%. That's from its all-time high, by the way.
I had that big drop that one day, but I can see it. It's possible to get down below that 370 mark.
Yeah, if it gets down to 370, there'll be some of my stuff that'll be in the money. Some of it. I'm not too worried about it. I'll probably put some more stuff on if it got down there. I got a 360 somewhere down there. Keep moving it down, put some new strikes on. But, as long as I don't get myself into trouble. Chucky Chill. What's going on, Chucky Chill? Talked a little bit to Chucky Chill on Thursday. Got Lord Slade. Yeah, rest in peace. I just saw that too in the twats. Right before I got on here, I saw in the twats somebody said, Bob Saget basically just retired or whatever, and then now he passed away. Betty White never retired and she passed away. So I mean, it's just, I haven't seen Bob Saget in years, since the greatest funny videos or whatever the heck he used to do, and the thing is, the comment on Twitter was kind of odd because, when you're so rich like that, it's like retirement really a thing, You can retire anytime you want, you know what I mean? Was he really working because he needed to,
Yeah.
Look at the Jeopardy guy, you know what I mean? He is old. He didn't need to do that anymore,
I mean, when you're that's the point that I always make, right? It's like retire. You can call yourself retired, but make sure you're not just sitting around doing nothing. I mean, look at, like you said, look at these multi-millionaires. They didn't have to lift a finger the rest of their life, but they still did stuff that they enjoyed to do. And, as long as you're doing things that you enjoy doing, then you can retire. If you don't have anything that you enjoy doing outside of work, don't quit working.
You mean like a Bill Gates type of thing? You want to do like mess up the world like that type of stuff? Or what?
I mean, yeah, if you're a multi-billionaire, heck, man, just throw some.
I'm not saying Bill Gates mess up the world, but he is very odd, like a lot of the shit he does. But he does a lot of good too, I guess. Let's see here. Yeah. So rest in peace, Bob Saget. I didn't look up to see what he died of. I don't know if it was, obviously he's probably pretty young, so he had to die of something. I mean, does anybody know? Put it in the chat here.
He had to die of something. Yeah, I think everybody dies of something.
That's not true, Gerry. Some people just die in their sleep, like I'm
But they
going
died
to.
of something.
Yeah, but this was a cancer. Was it a heart attack or something like that?
There's one
Um,
for sure thing. We're all gonna die.
that is true. They always say death and taxes, but I don't believe that. Death for sure, but not taxes. Taxes don't need to be. If you don't want to pay them, there's a way not to pay them legally. Simple as that. Keep your dividends low. Get married, because that will help. But anyways, what's going on, Matt, Freddie? Good evening, Dave and Gerry. Richard, what's going on, Richard? Hello, Dave and Gerry. Got MDB. Good evening. What's that, Gerry? Is that a skyline?
I think that's City Skyline. Yeah.
Fine, gentlemen. Good vibes. YouTube. UT. Was that UT? Urinary tract infection. Shamir Rajiv. Evening. Mark Ryan. I rolled my Palantir 20 CC out 2 weeks to buy more time. Gerry, you got Palantir on?
Yep, I got quite a few. They in the money too.
There's a lot of people that are in that boat. So misery, y'all are sharing the misery. That's for darn sure.
I got. I think I own 100 shares. No, I own 200 shares. And then
You do a stock repair strategy on it?
Not yet. I just got a couple of calls out. 22 and a 20 strike. Right now, where am I at? Let me pull up my long strike or long positions here and look at Palantir. If I even fill, oh, you know what? I don't even think I filled in. No, I didn't. But as far as everything goes, considering the cover calls and everything, I'm about 10% down on the position.
I called it a few weeks ago. I'm still in the same. I'm still in the same. It's going to $10. That's just what I think. It might take a little while to get there, but that looks like where it's headed. I hate to say it, but it is a solid company. But it is also one of those ones that's just people don't want to be in.
True.
Right now, anyway. High short flow, insider transactions minus 51%. People are dumping it. Speaking of dumping here, what the heck happened to Baba last week? Let's take a look at Baba. Thank Dave. You can thank me. I got out of it just to help everybody else out. It looks like it's going up, so which is bad for me because Matt Money's in it. Yeah, I mean, definitely looks like it's going to go up. Maybe hit that upper trend line possibly at some point. It's going to get stuck at the 51st probably. Did look like it had a reversal candle possibly. I don't know if that's not really a reversal candle, but that's not really a doji either. Was that a spinning top? Is that a spinning top? I don't know if anybody in here reads candlesticks or not, but who knows? It's not just Baba either. I think all of the Chinese stocks kind of did the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, they all moved. I'm in some another one that's close to in the money is KWeb, which is the China Internet ETF. And so any of those movements move my position as well. So
2 weeks out to buy more time. Roll Palantir. Yeah, what'd you roll it out to then, Mark? Did you roll it back to a 20? So yeah, I see it going to $10, and that's saying something just because it's still a ways off. That's a pretty big drop, to be honest with you. But if the market rolls over, it's $10 all day long. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. For all y'all. Dividend drip. How did Saga die? I asked the same thing. Let's see here.
He was found in a hotel room dead, so I don't know. I don't think he was. I wouldn't call that maybe the.
Well, that's. I mean, that could be a. It could be a ceiling fan. It could have been drugs. I mean, it could have been a bunch of things, you know. And I mean, Anthony Bourdain's a good example. You know what I mean? Like this guy. I loved Anthony Bourdain. This guy had the best life in the world. You know what I mean? But there was something wrong with his life that he had to take his own life. You know, I'm like, he's out there partying with everybody, drinking, you know, like traveling the world, and everybody thinks, man, this is like, I want to be this guy. You know what I mean? But something was so bad. I think he has a daughter too. You know, like he had kids. It's not like he had no family. You know,
Yeah.
to be able to go that far.
Yeah, it says on Saget, it says there was no signs of foul play or drug use. So,
And I used to spend 6 months in a hotel, man. I thought about that. I'm like, I don't want to die in a hotel. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I have to be honest, Jerry. I sometimes like put certain things away and stuff like that just in case I do die. I don't want those things out, you know. Am I the only one that does stuff like that?
I probably, yeah, I would too.
You know, I'm just being real here. You know what I mean? I mean, sure, like it's a weird thing to bring up, but I'm sure other people have done the same thing in here. I'm just probably one of the idiots that'll freaking mention it. Yeah, it was. I guess I probably wasn't the Rona. Any opinion on Salesforce here? I heard Nasty Pelosi bought a ton of calls. That's good for you.
Yeah, that's good. And it looks like it's probably,
CRM.
yeah. I don't know if it's finished going down, but historically, I'd say it's probably got some good support here pretty soon.
Yeah. What was the big drop from what caused that gap down? Solid company. We'll give them that. It's not a square. It's not a, you know, it's a solid company. It's been around for a while. A lot of big companies use it. It's already down 10% year to date. I don't know what caused. Let me see what caused that drop. Yeah, I don't fall after you. Oh, so it's a UB. Let's see. It was a UBS downgrade apparently on the 5th. That's what caused it. So 228.
No, but that drop was back in November. Oh, you're talking about the most recent one. I got you. Never mind.
Yeah. The one that's
had a big one
January
in
5th.
December. Had a big one in December, then another one in January. So
the one that happened in late November was earnings.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the one that was a downgrade that caused the other one, because I think Adobe got downgraded too. Let me see Adobe. What the hell is Adobe? Damn it! All right, because I think Adobe got downgraded the same day. Let's see here. Yeah, it got downgraded. Yeah, same gap down. Man, those charts look very similar actually, almost right to the T. So I don't know what your strike is there, info ranker. I don't know if you're playing a call or you're playing. See, Nasty Hurt says she bought calls. That's good for your puts if you're in puts. Was I'm assuming you're in. Yeah. So Nasty Pelosi. No comment on that one. What do y'all think about FAST ERX ETFs? So FAST, I haven't played around with FAST in a long time. ERX. Which one's ERX?
ERX is energy.
That's direction. Gerry, directions.
Yeah. I think it's Direxion, isn't it?
I thought the same thing until I heard on call. So they actually had a commercial on CNBC and they called it direction. I'm like, what? Because I thought it was Direxion the whole time. I've been calling that for years. Direction, Gerry.
I wouldn't play a put on this.
Bull 3x shares. That's financials. Why is that going up though? The financials have a good week? Actually, they would technically, huh? Because of interest rates possibly going up and the notes going
Yeah.
up.
It would
Bonds.
hurt probably. It probably hurt what, utilities, because they're relying on debt.
Let's take a look at SO. Not really. SO's solid. Let's look at NEE. NEE had a bad week. ED.
Yeah, look at XLU though. Look at the utility sector.
Yeah.
It's up, but it's had some.
It's not had a bad. It looked technical more than anything, but I don't know. So to comment on fast, it's probably not something I would play myself. I don't know. I take that back. I'd play it on the downside probably. And I'm just not a big fan of directions, Gerry. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know where I would be on this one. I think I looked at this last week too.
130 or lower.
130.
120
No,
ideally. What's that?
for me, I was looking in the 110.
Yeah, I'd say 120 or below. You have the 200 period moving average below that trend line, below that gap. I mean, I don't know if there's a pro shares version. I'm sure there is. Probably has less volume though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's up though. There must have been some key stocks that had major runs last week. Let's see, what's J? So Discover.
Berkshire.
Berkshire is not really a financial though.
Yeah, but they're in that freaking. They're a big part of that fund.
Morgan Stanley.
They had a big run up. They're almost 9% of that fund. They had a huge run up.
Is that A or B?
B.
Yeah, it had a humongous run up.
So that's why a lot of
that. What's the whole top 5 holdings that you see?
So it's Berkshire. Well, the biggest one is cash, but Berkshire, JPM, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, and Charles Schwab. But Berkshire is 8% of that fund.
Bank of America had a great week. JP Morgan was just okay. It was like what, Capital One or something like that in there. That's probably not in there. What's another bank besides? So
Wells Fargo had a huge run up too.
Yeah, Wells Fargo. Right when freaking Matt gets out of it. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, damn.
I think he sold it all. Yeah. Well, I dumped it last year. What a hunk of shit that was. I'm okay with FAS. I would rather have a pro shares version. Now, that's just me. I mean, honestly, you're probably okay with a direction as well, but and the pro shares might even not be a one that you can trade anyway. It's low volume or something. What's the other one? ERX.
ERX is the energy. That thing ran up as well.
Energy. 2X. Do they not make a freaking 3X one of those?
I'm sure they do.
What's the reason for using a 2X versus a 3X, Dan Tan? It's not. So you talk about options on these, or you just talking about owning them in general?
Man, did they have stock splits or what?
Probably. I think all the directions do, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, because it was, well, I don't know. It was $5 back in March of 2020.
Declining. It's one of those ones that gets reset and declines, and they adjust it all the time.
Probably.
Go down 2%. It goes, it takes you 5% to get broke even.
Energy, I mean, definitely still an energy bull, I would say.
Okay, so you're talking about oil then. Okay, gotcha. Oh shit. What the hell caused freaking ExxonMobil to go up? Holy mackerel.
Yeah, energy just
So much for
on a
that
run.
fire they had down there in Houston. God, man, that's a crazy run right there. $62 up to like 69. It's still cheap. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still cheap. That thing's probably going to end up heading back towards 80 is probably my guess. 80 is a likely number for where ExxonMobil could get back to. I'm still in ExxonMobil and Chevron, so. And a lot of people hated it last year, Jerry. Not last year now. 2020, man. People just hated oil. It's all about electric. It's all about, it's all about Tesla. And it's like they literally were ready to be on that bandwagon thinking that oil's all done, you know?
I remember that. It was like, because Exxon was down to in the 30s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it dropped down to the 30s. And I'm like, oil's not going away anytime soon. Not in your lifetime, not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime. It's like it's never going away. How much freaking plastics in those Teslas are made from oil. But anyway, it's just not going away. And that was one of the best places to be right there. Wow, Pelosi's still alive. Yeah, evil does not die, dividend drip. I said that about Diane. Let's see. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say because people probably, they'll unsub, they're very sensitive, Jerry. But Diane Feinstein, the same damn thing. Well, evil just does not die, Jerry. I sell both ERX and FAS naked puts and calls. Love them. You strangling them? You strangling them, man. What are you doing? You know what came to my mind when I did that, Jerry?
Godfather?
No. The part of the movie in Training Day where they're in the house, they're sit down to play poker. He's like, he wasn't strangling him. He's talking about pushing something out of the sphincter or whatever. Oh man, sorry. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yeah. I gotta watch that again.
Oh man, it's a great movie. Dave and Jerry, which of your positions do you feel would most likely get challenged if the market keeps falling? All of them. For me, all of them.
I was waiting for that one. That was going to be my answer.
Because I'm in TNA and TQQQ right now. That's all, and what an SOXL. But I mean, honestly, I'm not that far away from being in the money in a couple of them already. So, yeah, every one of them. Jerry, what about you?
I would say the ones I'm most concerned with is ARC-K and ARC-G. Those are the two I'm most concerned with.
ARC-K has been terrible. Every day I look at it, I'm like, it's just reminds me that I'm so glad I'm just not in that freaking thing anymore. Junk. Complete junk. Sorry for all the people that are in it, but it's just.
I'm in it, so I'll probably be rolling them. But the problem is, you can't roll to where it really needs to be rolled to. So, I don't know.
It's got support around 80.
It does support around 80, but safety is around probably 60.
60 is probably pretty darn solid. I'll give it that. And the thing is, it's just full with a bunch of companies that people are dumping right now. You know what I mean? That's the problem. It's just, I mean, I used to be a big fan of it. It used to be a big money maker, but it's just right now, like I'm just steering clear of that thing. So yeah. So you taking a lot of shits in freaking RV toilets. So how's Winnebago doing?
Winnebago's doing just fine. They got earnings coming up, so I'm not in it. But oh wait, did they just do earnings? Am I tripping?
Is that a Ford? It's a Winnow.
Oh, I know why. You know why I'm not doing Winnebago? They have, for some reason, Interactive Brokers has a humongous margin requirement on them. So
what's the ticker on that darn thing?
Screw you, WGO.
WGO.
but they're doing just fine.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Would
If
you
you've
call
been,
them the biggest player?
no, they're not the biggest player by far, not even close.
Okay.
They're the smallest, actually.
But it's actually as far as like what's public, there's not a lot of options.
As far as what's public, they're the second largest.
Okay. So like Lance and all them are not actually even public.
No, they're probably owned by Thor, which is the biggest.
Okay. I
And the
like
second,
Thor.
well, actually, I think because Berkshire Hathaway owns Forest River, which is one of the biggest as well. But I don't know if the Berkshire Hathaway's RV division is bigger than Thor.
So riddle me this here. Why do you think that Marcus Lemonis, or maybe he did, and I just don't know it, hasn't bought up some of these companies?
He's on the dealer side, not the manufacturer side.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you be on the manufacturing side too?
Because honestly, Camping World has probably has one of the, because they're the biggest, they have the most horrible reputation of service in the industry. But that's because they have so much market share, so they got so many customers. Of course, the bad ones are going to be loud, right? So,
But he talks about process, people, man, and all that, and it's like people, process, and what's the third one? But product, right? But he could fix the product so they don't have so many returns and shit, because honestly, let's not freaking skip over the fact that most RVs are just built really shoddy, low quality.
Here's the thing, though. They get paid to service them, though.
Better get an extended warranty. I mean, the thing is, it's not
here,
really...
and there's the other thing. They sell the extended warranty.
Yeah, that's just not the way business should be run, though. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make these things so they fail after 2 years, just like make more money type of deal. So there's your answer, MDB. Everything. I don't have any calls on, so.
But if you want to play Winnebago, look at a 65 strike if your margin requirement ain't there. I like it around there. 65, 60 if you're lucky. Sometimes they'll get you good premium around there.
All right, what do we got?
Not financial advice.
Yeah, disclaimer. Love my SCHD drip. Me too. I'm gonna start building that some biatch out, probably starting in like May, June. I don't plan on using any money on my dividend portfolio even after retirement until like maybe 2023, maybe even late 2022. I don't know. I got a cash supply built up, and then just gonna let those drip when I'm on the AT. And SCHD is gonna be one of the ones I'm gonna hopefully keep building now. Let's take a look at SCHD. Gerry, you already did that one, right?
Yeah, that's the second largest or third largest, third largest in the dividend space.
Definitely one of the best ones out there, best in class, for sure. It's not. It's right up there with DGRO, probably. Those two are pretty much come to my mind. VYM, and then there's some other ones out there, VIG or whatever. That are just not quite up to snuff.
Yeah, it comes down. Both DGRO and SCHD really have solid screening to just really pick up quality companies. That's really what it all is. VYM is more of a blanket, buy it all and average it out type of thing. So screens
they were missing good stocks, though, last time I looked at it.
The screens just aren't as good. So, they end up owning way too much of the crap.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've looked at it, okay? But they didn't have Microsoft. They didn't have Apple. They didn't have Home Depot. They didn't have Starbucks. These are solid companies that should be in there, But they're not. So, yeah. SHD, definitely a good one there. Loves it. Let's see here. Gerry, are you keeping your notional, notational value in check?
What does that mean?
That means, is it below your net lick?
Oh, hell no.
So, Gerry, do I need to help you with your spreadsheet and put the freaking notional values down there for you, or what?
Probably.
Well, guess what? Let's make sure we get that done. I'll help you with that. Maybe we'll do it on next Monday because I'm off.
Yeah. I did a manual check like a couple weeks ago. I'm sure it's gone up, but I was underneath my net lick at that time, but I'm sure it's gone up in the past couple weeks.
Are you keeping yours in check, MDB? I am. I'm sitting right at what, 130, 137. So I'm still good. Normally, it's honestly, if I go the normal route, like Qs or something like that, I'd probably be at like $500,000, $600,000 right now.
Yeah,
for the amount of that amount of premium. Matt Freddy, my view: once portfolio crosses 1 mil mark, unless one is really aggressive with individual stocks, it is better to stick indexes. SPY, QQ, IWM. At that point, capital preservation becomes important. I'm in 100% agreement here. I wouldn't probably do those though, unless I was going to do options. You know what I mean? Otherwise, why would you be in those a little bit more expensive items there? I don't know if you're just saying in general you'd want to be in the overall market, because otherwise there's better options like VOO. What's another good one for those other two?
VOO, QQQM, and I think IWM is the only one, but I think he is talking about options though.
If you want to do options, then definitely all three of those, because I'm doing the same thing, Matt, which you may have even seen my video. I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Maybe I stole the idea from you. I don't know. But so all those three options right there, play the right percentages and all that. Isn't there overlap with Qs and SPY?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So 100% agree. It all becomes, and that's the thing. Like I can't count on how many freaking toes and hands and Gerrys and all that. How many times I've gotten emails or comments from people saying, "What about growth? What about growth?" And it's like it becomes more about capital preservation once you've won the game. You know what I mean? Once you've won the game, then you want to keep it. You still want growth. Don't get me wrong. You definitely want to be at least outpacing inflation at the minimum. So I agree here. Yeah, if you're doing options, all three of those are great choices. No Dow in there. You notice that?
Yeah. Why not the DIA?
Nobody likes the Dow. Nobody likes the Dow. Poor Dow. There's solid companies in the Dow. The Dow's actually been pretty holding up pretty darn well.
Yeah, exactly. The Dow 30. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with any of those companies. Damn near.
No, let's see. What do we got here? People coming in late. Fashionably late. Thumper. Dividend drip. Me too, Mark. Grinding to retire. What's up, boys? What's going on? Grinding to retire. Lord Slade. Got a put on TQs at 115. I have one of those on as well. I just keep walking her down, Gerry. I keep adding like another. Well. Let me see. I got 130, 125, 120, 115, 110. And every time it keeps dropping a little bit more, I'll throw another one on. I'll do like a 105 or something, or 100 or something next. Let's see here. Looks like sector rotation into financials and energy stocks accelerated last week. Do you think bump? XLF, XLE is sustainable? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, if interest rates keep going up, what do you think, Gerry?
They haven't
started to go up yet, but
yeah, no, they've gone up. But I would say energy's probably more sustainable than financials, but I don't know.
Bond rates have gone up. Interest rates haven't yet, technically, right? because the mortgage is based off the Treasury, but the 10-year note. But so it's well. Let me finish this question first. I think there's still room there. I just don't know how much. I do think that oil could still go up higher. Financials, I don't see that not going up higher either, especially if they're going to raise interest rates this year. So there you go. I guess that answers it. Maybe I was initially wrong. He said sustainable, so it's not sustainable. Sustainable for 10 years.
Yeah,
but sustainable for at least 6 months to a year. I think that's what tripped me up. All right, let's take a look at the get your vote in. Get your vote in. Let's see here. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got for votes here? Man, 64 votes. Do you think there will be more than 3 interest rate hikes in 2022? I'm surprised at this. I'm actually pretty surprised at this, Gerry. We got 64%, which is 64 votes out there, are saying no. 36 said yes. 36% said yes.
What did you vote?
I didn't vote.
Oh.
And now I can't vote because I think it might. I have herd mentality. I don't think there's going to be more than 3.
I put no.
Okay. Fair enough. I'd love to hear from the yesers. Did you just go on are you just being contrarian and going against the mainstream? I love to hear the contrarian. I'm a contrarian, so I just don't see it. I think the market's going to have a hard time the very first time they do it, and a lot of it's priced in. I mean, it's priced in. It's just, I don't know. We'll see if they pass that bill, that could be a problem. Then they're going to try to pass it before November, right?
What do you think? They're going to bring one in March?
You mean raise the first raise in March?
Raise the first one in March, yeah.
I think wouldn't they talk about having the all the tapering done by March? They're going to do it all at one time or something, is what I heard. I don't know. If they're going to get 3 done, then they better start. You know what I mean? You better start. Give yourself some room to make another decision at the end of the year in December or whatever, and give yourself ammunition in case this economy turns to shit. Economy turns to shit right now. What are you going to do? There's nothing they can do really. Not that that's it's kind of just a fool's errand, I guess. I don't know. What the hell's this? Say Matt, but I got a long time before I get there. Yeah, he's almost there. The amount of gambling he's doing lately just takes one freaking, hitting black with a 3x or something. I don't know. He'll be there. But it just takes that one be wrong, and then you're not there. If I had sold for 175, I would have said, there you go, Gerry. There you go. That's why I don't post in there anymore. So let's see here. My mistake seems to be I was a premium whore. I am going to get out and work the index funds as VIX. Yeah, let's take a look at the VIX. What the hell did the VIX do? Let's see here. VIX. VIX.
He's doing the VXX?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the VXX.
Oh, that's the short-term futures.
Yeah. ETN. What did I do last week? Yeah. 18. It's fine. I don't have any problem with it. He's waiting for the Black Swan event, I guess. Maybe my mistake seemed to be I was a premium whore. You might be if you're chasing those affirms and squares and roadblocks. Definitely just be careful with those, I guess. I mean, I don't need to preach to anybody in here. Everybody knows what the heck they're doing. What they listen to me for anyway, Gerry. It's just those companies are the first ones to sell off. It's like being in CCL, hotels, and airlines when we're at a 10-year bull market. Why would you be in those? During a recession right around the corner. Rebecca, what's going on, Rebecca? She's preparing for retirement as well, along with me. Let's see here. Hope you had a good week. Hope you have a good week too. Affirm is a but now pay. Oh. Affirm is a buy now pay later type company. Yeah, isn't Square too possibly? Isn't Square doing that? Square and PayPal kind of trying.
They probably, yeah. I mean, they all have their own little versions of that.
They're trying to break into that. And now, granted, I think Shopify does the same thing now too. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if. Probably not. I have to look, but I know Shopify is just doing that as well. Kind of a layaway type of thing. But maybe it's powered by a firm. I don't know. I don't think it is, but I've seen it available for concert tickets and sporting events. Basically, put your tickets on layaway. You get nosebleeds. What do you do that for?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you need to put that type of stuff on layaway, or
you shouldn't be going.
You shouldn't be going.
I was thinking more like a first class ticket, from here to Australia or something. That's where you need some layaway. Yeah. But now, buy now, pay later. We got you. Question: what are a few good stocks to look at for covered calls in 20 to 40 range? Ooh. AT&T. I don't know. What else is around that range? And she's probably talking about like stocks that she'd own, like dividend stocks, is my guess.
Yeah, if you need something good, AT&T.
There's not a lot in that range.
There really isn't, as far as actually wanting to hold it.
Ford?
I'm a fan of Camping World. Ford's another one.
Ford should fall in there just because I do think Ford is shaking the juju, Jerry.
I think so too. I said that weeks ago. I said, watch out. Ford is going to be the leader of EVs, period.
Oh, you just pissed off all the Tesla people.
I put a period on it.
Exclamation point above the period. I kind of agree. Ford is not, and GM too. GM's not laying. They're not laying down.
They're not going to lay down. No, they're not going to lay down.
And there's people. You know what the problem is, Jerry? Too many people put autonomous driving together with EV. That's the problem. And we're a long ways off from autonomous, in my opinion, mainstream anyway. If you debuckle those two, then Ford and GM are in the game. They're in the fight, no problem. They got a freaking dog in this fight. Not saying that they don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to autonomous driving either. It's just I'm saying I think that Tesla might be a little ahead of the game there a bit.
Sure.
So yeah, Ford falls into that range, and it's a solid company. It had a lost 2 decades. That's the problem with Ford. It's not just a lost decade. It was a lost 2 decades. It just didn't do shit, really. That's the problem. And it finally shaken the juju a little bit. There's not a lot of stocks in that range. Let me go through my portfolio here just right quick because I honestly don't know if I have any stocks in that range. AT&T falls in there. Everything else is priced out of that range in my dividend portfolio.
Yeah, quality wise, it's tough. Quality wise, a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna say is gonna be like speculative type things, right? Or
like a CCL or something.
Like a Carnival Cruise Line. I'm a Big Lots fan, that. But they might have some trouble here. Who knows? Because we don't have Christmas numbers out from them, and I don't think they did that well. So it's just tough right now. I would have said Pfizer back last year.
I would say this, Rebecca, and this is from back in my day trading days. You rarely ever see a $20 stock, like a quality stock, go to $80, right? there's kind of like a ceiling there. You'll see at $20 to go to 40, but once you break out of that range, you can go from 80 to 140, 80 to 150. The problem is the tier of your price range here. If you can go up to 80, there's a lot more better choices there. Because the stocks in this range here are never going to go to 80, most likely. It's just the way it is.
Look at the stalwarts, right? Like Coca-Cola. It's probably going to be range bound forever. That type of thing, right? One of the
I don't see Coke unless they buy back shares and do something like that.
Although they had a run up here recently. What the heck?
Well, restaurants are closing back down. I mean, I don't know. I mean, restaurants, Gerry, they're coming back.
And of course we say it like, every few months. Intel,
it still falls out of the range, though. That's the problem, right? Because Intel's like, you just give it time. I've talked about it many streams ago. Intel is still super cheap, and there's a lot of potential there, a ton of potential there. I would almost say that's probably, if you're willing to hold it for 10 years, it's probably going to do very well over 10 years. It's aching to go up. Super solid company, great freaking products. It's just a matter of time. I think we're all kicking ourselves in our ass on that one. So what, Verizon. See, like I said, if she can go from the $40 to $80 range, there's going to be a lot better stocks there.
Exactly. And that's why I brought up Intel.
Yeah. There's just a lot more choices there for you. So I don't know what's driving this here for you, Rebecca, but if you have a dividend stocks, my assumption is that you have a lot of the quality names, but the problem with those is it's going to take a lot more money to be in them to do so, cover calls. That's the problem. You know what you can do is you can do a Devo.
Damn you, Dave.
That's great minds think alike, Gerry.
That's what I was just about to say. I just looked it up right now. $38. There you go. I mean, get exposure to a lot of quality stocks, monthly dividend, 4.5%, 5% yield, or whatever it is.
It pays monthly, and and they're all quality stocks, and they do the cover calls for you. It's an option for you. Look at my video. Look at Gerry's video. Thumper just put a video out on it as well. It's definitely a contender. If you're a person that loves dividend stocks and wants to get to 100 shares each so you can do cover calls against it, and you find out it's too much work, Devo is your answer. There you go. Thanks. I made some money back on the cash covered calls to offset. Top down, windows up is the best way to ride in winter. With the heater on full blast. Jeez. Heated seats too.
Mustang convertible. What year?
Yeah, I had a mine was a 90. My mom's car. My mom had it for years, and then I bought it from her, and I drove it for quite a while.
90. Was that after? Was that
Fox body?
Okay, the Fox body. Okay. The
Fox body ran from 79 to I want to say 95.
So the classic
94, 95 looked different than the 79 to 93 Mustangs, but the 5.0s, Gerry, the good old 5.0s.
Yep.
Most popular engine they made. That's why they had to bring it back out. Exactly. Although it's not a push rod motor anymore.
Well, wasn't it actually a 4.9?
No, it's a 5.0. It was a 302. That's 5 liter.
Was it?
Yeah. 4.9. What's going on, James? Let's see here. I've been looking at iron condors a lot lately. It's basically increasing your profit on a stock you would normally sell a put on because you think it's going to trade sideways. Only downside is that you cap your upside, but you know your max loss and your max profit right out the bat. Thoughts? But you also know your max losses too. um, so iron condor is theoretically just a strangle, right? For anybody that's new here, which I don't think there's anybody new in here, but it's just a strangle, right? You're strangling your stock. You want it to kind of just trade sideways, not go up, not go down. And if it does move up or down, you don't want it to go very far in either direction.
Iron condor, credit spread strangle. That's all it is.
So when it comes to an iron condor, you're basically see same cap in the upside, but you're also doing defined risk on either end with with an iron condor. Another option is you could do a jade lizard, because honestly the upside is probably the more riskier side than the downside is. Save a little bit of money on commissions, save a little money, and make a little bit more money on the premium as well. That's an option. I'm not a big fan of iron condors. I actually don't know if I've ever done one outside of just testing my script, Gerry. What about you? Have you done any?
I think I've done one, and I'm not a big credit spread guy, unless it's just to reduce margin impact. Other than that, I really don't like credit spreads.
He doesn't like defined risk. I don't either. It's just a mental thing because you can just roll the spread too. It's no different.
I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but I don't like to get into a trade and knowing, oh, I could lose $500. I don't like that mentality. I don't like that thought process.
The thing with a credit spread on like the downside or whatever, I feel like you have more options if you were just naked out there, and because you're going to be able to get down lower probably anyway. You have more options, I think, right? Because you can roll it, you can take it, you can roll it and you can take it and you can sell it, you can do whatever the heck you want to do, take the loss. I mean,
yeah, that's my issue with a lot of the credit spreads. You got to be at the 30-25 delta to really make something out of that, and you're just it's more riskier.
My thought is, if you're going to get an iron condor, get into something that's not going to move, very, very big in either direction. It's pretty just low beta. I mean, of course, probably going to make that much money, but like I said in the past, I prefer just going naked on either end if I'm going to do it on something that just doesn't move very much. Or my thought is like, there's no way that's going to get up there. That's what goes through my mind, right? Like, no way that, and it could be on like an Amazon. Sounds weird, but on an Amazon, because you can get way the hell up there. And there's no way that Amazon is going to move that far in that amount of time. And then you're just like a free trade too, because you get the other side on, right? That's my thoughts. Anything you want to add on that one, Gerry?
Nope.
Guess I have a lot. Guess I can't live stream Tesla. YOLO's on the 17th.
Were you planning on doing that, really, Thumper?
Probably not. Yeah, let's see here. January 25, 26 Fed meetings. I use to participate in board meetings with the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City that prepared Esther George for her open market committee meetings in D.C. Learned a ton. What'd you learn? We'd love to hear what you learned, man. I wonder who here actually believes a lot of the crap they say, though. The same thing with all the numbers that they report on Thursdays or Fridays or whatever. The unemployment numbers and all that. You got Biden on TV this week talking about unemployment numbers reaching the lowest they've reached in 100 years or 50 years, whatever. It's like any president that would have been in there would have said the same thing, because guess what? You're coming out of a pandemic, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was easy to hit those numbers, right?
He just really irritated me when that speech just irritated me, because he's taking credit for all that stuff when it didn't matter who was in office. All those same things would have happened anyway. It's nothing that he did, but I understand why he's doing saying what he's saying too. He's just playing the game. But there's a ton of people that are unemployed, though, isn't there? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm about to be unemployed, Gerry.
I'm unemployed.
What if I can't, darn? I'm like, what if I can collect unemployment? I need to get some money back, Gerry.
You need to get fired.
Yeah, I need to get fired before I need to get fired before I quit, Gerry. C North, we are all terminal. That's a good point. Well, I heard somebody say one time, if you don't get sick and die, Gerry, you're going to get old and sick and die. Because honestly, that's the truth, right? If you don't get sick and die early, then you get old and sick and die, right? I mean, if something doesn't take you early, then something's going to take you later. It's just depends whether or not, I guess you could get murdered or something, but it's not going that far, I guess.
There's a lot of things, right? I mean, that's the guarantee. Look, you eat healthy, you're going to die. You eat unhealthy.
It might not be as painful death.
Yeah.
And that definitely is something I don't want. I don't want to be having a catheter before I die. I'm deathly afraid of catheters. Dave, do you think you might have to do the stock repair strategy on some of your short positions like TQs or TNA, or just sell calls? I don't think I'm going to have to do a stock repair strategy. So here's the thing. I gave it a 10% move down. I don't think the market's going to go down much past 10 to 15% this time if it drops that far. I think we'll bounce. People will want to put money in the markets. So I won't need to do it. I can sell calls, and as the things come in, it'll be average down on its own for me. I don't even have to do it, Gerry. So I won't have to do it. But I would have no problem doing it either. What about you, Gerry? You got positions that are in the money.
It's been over a year now, right? And we lost Randy. Those who don't know, we got Randy, and this is who created the Discord. But I always hear his voice now. Just roll it.
Just roll it.
It'll all come back. Just roll it.
It'll all come back.
And
this is the cost of doing business.
It's just, most of that is true. It's just how long can you do that, right? That's the thing. How long is the market going to not cooperate, with your roles? So it's just, I don't know. I think I've gained a lot of patience over this past year, and I always hear that. Just roll it. It'll all come back.
And this is a time when Randy, it was in 2020, a lot of the stuff he came up with, and the market was on fire, right? So, I swear, if anybody doesn't know Randy, this guy tried to get assigned on stuff. He's going in the money, it's like trying to, collecting $30 a contract and stuff on a bunch of stuff. And it's like, it just wouldn't assign. It's hilarious. A lot of the stuff he did. But he's right, because when I used to day trade a lot, you got not assigned. I used to buy stuff and it'd go down, and I'd be, 10% down, 20% down. If you're in a solid stock, it will come back at some point in its life, That's why I put that little snippet in there of the guy that was in Ford that put that little comment in Stock Twats. He's like, finally, after 20 years, break even, motherfucker. No, I'm sorry if I offend you, but I have to say the motherfucker in there because it was hilarious. If you don't put that in there, it's not as funny. This guy was in, he might have been in Ford for 20 years, and Ford didn't do a damn thing for 20 years. And there you go. After 20 years, he's broke even, It was hilarious. Don't get offended anybody, but because this is real life, that just still cracks me up to this day. See here, if Palantir goes to $10, I'm willing to buy the stock and wait for someone buying it sooner or later. I am $10, man. I might even back up the train. Is backing up a train a thing, Gerry?
I think it's a truck, Dave.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's got to be a Ford truck.
Yeah, that's right. Big payload. It's got to be a dually. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Matt. Same thing. If it gets down to $10, I might even buy a leap on it, Jerry. What about that?
Yeah, if it gets down to $10, I'm doubling down.
Stock repair strategy. Let's see here. Don't know if one should hold TNA more than a day or so. I think it would just sell if assigned. I think I would just sell if assigned and go back to shorting puts. Why? I don't understand the logic there, grateful man. The thing is I mean, some of these. Well, take that back. He's kind of right in a way because, I mean, in order for me to take, I mean, I'd have to take a major loss on these things just to get at them at this point, right? But they're none of them are in the money. You know what I mean? So that's just how it works.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to take assignment. Just roll it. And here's the thing, rolling, right? You go from,
I would take assignment on these though.
Unless you're rolling in the money, right? Most of the time, well, even if you're rolling in the money, if you're rolling down strikes, you're buying. Say you roll from 60 to 55, you're buying $500, or you're selling and gaining $500 in cost basis, and it's also
gains off.
Right, and it's also reducing your cost. I mean, your margin impact as well, because you had a $60, which would take $6,000, and now you have a $55, which would take $5,500. So you
could forever roll and be fine,
right?
Like that strategy would work too, because eventually it's not going to continue to go down year after year, month after month, month after month, year after year. It's just not. But for me, I don't have a problem taking TQQQ or TNA down where I'm at. I don't know if I would take them all. If the market really turned to shit, I don't know if I'd take them all. But it's kind of an automatic average down too, though, if I did, right? Look, Grateful Man calling me out. Hotel room usually means drugs, no? Yeah, if it was in a Marriott, Grateful Man. I don't know. There's no ceiling. Let's see. Is there ceiling fans in there? Yeah, actually, I don't even think a ceiling fan can hold you up, to be honest with you.
Well, hotel room. I mean, he's an entertainer. He's traveling and doing shows, so he's always going to be in a hotel room.
Well, I mean, Alan Thicke died too. A few years back, right? I mean, it's just that guy wasn't that old either. And he was Canadian, but Bob Saget. I mean, we all grew up with him. You know what I mean? Like Full House, and then also he did the funny video show, right?
What was it called? America's Funniest Home Videos?
Yeah, something like that. I always love the people that were sleeping, they put a pie down there and they just roll over and it's like, come on, a setup. It's so obvious.
Right.
Usually don't buy options, but bought one leap contract on CrowdStrike. Wait, CrowdStrike. Let's see. Bought one leap contract on CrowdStrike strike price. 190 expiration January 2024. See, stock is down 35% off all-time highs. Currently selling short-term options against. Okay, so he's got a PMCC going there, Jerry.
No, but when did you buy that leap contract? Because if you're at 190, the stock's at 189 right now. Where are you at? What is your cost basis on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're trying to figure out what his cost basis is. CrowdStrike. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike.
Looks like it's finding support here.
Yeah, I think it's decent. But I don't know. I mean, given that you bought a leap at 190, that's not deep in the money. So you got extrinsic value there that you got to get out of. So you're probably going to have to go up pretty high is my guess.
Yeah.
How high up are you going? My guess is going to have to go up probably, what do you think, Jerry, like 220 or something like that? Or even lower than that?
Probably let me look and see what the 190s are going for right now. They're going for about just call it $50. So your your cost base is right around 240. So do we have any money at 240 or thereabouts? And
could you technically, go a little bit lower than that?
Yeah, I mean,
Especially if you're actually getting $50 for this, or wait, how much money you're getting for it? How much you getting for 240?
you're only
Well,
getting about a buck for
yeah,
45 days, a buck and a half, buck 25 for 45
you
days.
could probably go down a little bit lower than that and still have a 240 average. But the thing is, I just, you're kind of betting. I just don't think that CrowdStrike would get up there by 45 days. But it's
Right.
definitely it's a dancing act. It's a balancing beam act, Jerry. I'm sure you can come down like a 235, something like that. Get a little more money, but the problem is the fact that you just didn't go a little bit deeper. You're a little bit deeper there, you would have removed a lot of extrinsic value, and it would have been a lot easier to make money on the call side. Yeah, tell us what if you're still in here. Oh, that was what time is this one? Let's see, 39. That was quite a while ago. So, yeah, hopefully you're still in here. If you are, what strike did you sell on the cover call side? He might just be gambling a little bit, Jerry, and just, hoping it doesn't blow past it or something. Try to reduce the average a bit. Dan Tam. What, Jerry?
I'll say it's probably not a bad buy, though.
No. CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike's been in the news a lot lately, too. Put option, good news, I think, as well. Put options on ERX. Must have been a response to something that we were talking about up there, ERX.
Yeah.
Jerry's so slow, we're behind.
Yeah.
I got burnt with BRKB last week. I sold a CC at 300 strike for 190 expiring January 21st. I'm down 1,800. I gotta let them take the stock.
You're not down, Matt.
Well, as long as you're above.
Unless that 300 strike was below your cost basis.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, that's like rule number one. What we talked about like probably a year ago now, almost a year ago. Yeah. Don't sell below your cost basis. I would do it in some cases. I would have no problem doing it. But you got to be okay with with it being taken away possibly below your cost basis too. And then damn sure got to be okay with realizing the gain, whatever you have in the underlying stock too.
Right.
If you're not, you better buy it back. Jeez, Berkshire, Jerry. I haven't thought about doing options on that one. PRKD.
Do it on the A shares.
Yeah, I should do it on the A shares. Let's see. 480,000. Jesus.
Yeah, just do a couple of those. You're good.
One contract, Jerry. Retire. Or one contract. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm sure there's 0 options on that.
Probably not.
I mean, there's only what, a couple thousand shares of those things or something like that.
Yeah, that's 1.5 million. Target price is 502,000. Where is our oil expert tonight? I don't know where he is. We wore him out. Where's our? Did you block that person? All good. I will. I'll try to. Let me see here. Block. I guess you didn't get to him all good. It was right below yours too. Slacker. If evil doesn't die, George Soros will live forever. I completely agree with that one. Jeez. And that's true, though. All these people that are evil, They're old as dirt, Gerry. They're farting dust nonstop, but they're like in their late 80s and shit, That's the freaking, how do they live so damn long?
You got to be a crook.
Yeah, you got to be a Antifa funder. Let's see here. SCHD is heavily concentrated in top 12 holdings. We'll take VYM all day long for diversification. Not me. I don't like the fact that VYM, now granted, like I said, I haven't looked at it in months, that they were missing good stocks. Good, the best of the best. Microsoft, Apple, Home Depot. Realty Income wasn't in there. I mean, it might not supposed to be in there, but what else? Starbucks. These stocks need to be in a dividend freaking, they should be in there.
Well, they got Home Depot now.
Okay, well, but they're smart. That's why.
But they've definitely, everybody knows, and some that have followed my channel know I'm doing just ETF overviews on my channel. And there's something that happened in March of 2020 with SCHD and DGRO that separated them from every other dividend ETF out there. And I don't know what it is. I didn't look too deeply into it, but the difference between the recovery from March 2020 and VYM, VIG versus SCHD and DGRO is like, it's like a big gap.
Well, obviously VYM had a good 2020, but missing those stocks that held up very well and then kind of excelled. Home Depot is a good example. Starbucks was a little bit. I mean, it did do well, but those builder stocks, Apple and Microsoft, top notch during the recession, right? No wonder, Financials came back. What's another one? I don't know what's in SPHD anymore. I mean, that's not even in the list, Gerry. Yeah, I don't know. Heavily concentrated in top 12 holdings. Well, if the top 12 holdings are the best companies in the world, then what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I mean, who was it that said that? Because I mean, holding individual stocks, right? You could.
I was just going to say the same thing. When people have a dividend portfolio, how many dividend portfolio people have more than say 30 holdings?
Right.
Exactly. Like that's for all 11 sectors. So, and I know some people have less than that. I know people have a lot, but at the same time, and typically 30 holdings or something like that's typical. Maybe a little less than that as well. So 12 holdings, and I know, was it about 100 in SCHD or something like that?
It's 100 in SCHD and I think 400 plus in VYM. 100 stocks is extremely diversified.
I agree. But he's really kind of talking about the 12 holdings in particular, but
yeah, I mean
the top
position is about 40%, but yeah.
If they're solid positions that are the top 12, why is it a problem? If you got the J&Js, you got the McDonald's, you got the PGs, you got the Microsoft, you got the Apples, you got the, what else is solid, Gerry? Pepsi, Colgate,
I mean, look at this though. VYM, it has 400 holdings, and its top 10 takes up 25% of that fund. So
out of 400 stocks.
So I don't know. I think it's just whatever you're.
I'm going to have to just agree to disagree here, Gerry. So
look, here's the thing: VYM, it's a solid ETF. There's no doubt about it.
I agree. I owned it for quite a while. I would say this: VYM is better than not investing at all. It's better than SPHD. It's better than most, I would say. It's not for me right now, but it's definitely, if somebody's not going to invest, I'd rather them invest in that than nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's solid. Agree.
I mean, there's a reason why it's the number 2 dividend ETF around.
Well, it's Vanguard. It's the name on it too.
Vanguard, right? So,
Yeah. Dave and Gerry, what are your thoughts of being long UPRO? Let's see
is that the
here.
2X
Dave,
or the 3X?
it's a triple. You have a long, let's see, am I getting back to not being able to read again here? See, Dave, you have a long-term SPY. Why not add some UPRO? Any reasons against it? Leverage funds. I don't have a long-term SPY. I don't know what you mean there. Performance has been through the roof. Let's take a look at UPRO.
Well, the performance is going to be just 3X the SPY, so it's not like it's.
Yeah. The thing is I don't own any SPY right now. There is a plan possibly after I retire, when I roll the 401k over, of maybe wheeling IWM and SPY on that account, maybe Qs in there, all three. I haven't decided 100% yet. I talked about it in the last video, well, not last video, but that plan was just to own SPY, but it might make sense to wheel it. If I can just generate income in there and not be exposed 100% to the market until we have a good major pullback, like a 30% or a recession or something like that, that might be the way to go. And I might do UPRO at that point, But the thing is we'd have to have, in order for me to go, I wouldn't go all in, but for me to go pretty heavily into any triple leverage at that point, we'd have to have a pretty darn big pullback, like a 30% or more. Definitely not against it. I definitely like UPRO more than the directions, Gerry. If you think the market will be flat or down, I do. I believe your best options strat is to sell at or at the money calls. Your thoughts? Out of the money calls, sorry. I think the market might be flat or it could go down, but I don't want to risk, being wrong either, because the market could very well go up too. So I would rather there's no way in heck I'd go just out of the money or at the money. I'd want to be way out there still.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say, yes, you are right. But you also have to be prepared to be wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't put direction. I mean, I always look at a chart and all that. And I mean, yeah, I study this candles. I study the charts. I study this, what the hell, this charts, candles, and studies. I study all that stuff, to help make me an informed decision. But I'm wrong all the time, Nothing's foolproof. And I don't want to be wrong on being at the money, especially. I still want to be way far out of the money if I'm going to do a naked call. I think it's smart to probably have some on, though, but I don't. Yeah, 45 days, a lot can happen. That's the problem. It's a lot easier when you're doing the 2 weeks, Gerry.
Yeah.
Even though there's more risk there. But Ford, Apple, and two of the best for 2022. Need to find a few more non-tech, any of your top 22 under, so Amazon, it's by far had a weak 2021, right? I think it's Amazon year. Yeah, I said it last week as well. So Amazon by far has a lot of room to grow, and they traded sideways most of last year, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I would agree. I was looking at that last week and looking at that 1 year chart, and I was like, why are they sideways? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know either. I don't know. They need to split. That's why, Gerry.
You know what? If they did split, yeah, do a 4-to-1 split. They would guarantee them going up this year.
Yeah, well, I had like a 20-to-1 split.
Well, yeah, that would be nicer.
They need to split. That'll cause it to go up. But yeah, I mean, Amazon, I think would be probably my top stock for this year. I would not even say Apple. I would say Apple's not top of my list. I'm just not an Apple fan. That's it. I mean, I'm up big time in that stock, 200% or something right now. But it's just I'm not excited about Apple. I just don't really care about their products, and everybody knows. I mean, I just don't care. It's
And
still a
that's
great
see,
investment, though.
and there's the thing where we were just talking about being wrong, right? If you would have told me Amazon would have been flat in 2021 and Apple would have ran up in 2021, I would have said you're crazy. But the opposite happened.
There was no reason for Apple to really run up. You
No, not
know,
really.
did they split? Who's did they split? I thought maybe they split, right? Let me see.
Nvidia split for sure, but I don't remember if Apple did or not.
Apple. No, Apple split Apple split for sure. So Apple split, Tesla split. So yeah, I mean, I just Amazon top stock. I'll agree with Gerry here. Probably Ford's probably on the list as well. KMB's recovered. Let's take a look at KMB.
A lot of those have just ran sideways too in 2021.
Yeah, well, yeah, KMB's kind of traded sideways for quite a while, but it's at the top of its sideways now. So there you are. Yeah, someone say Ford. There you go. So Amazon for sure. I would almost say that I wouldn't even put Apple on the list, Jerry. I'm just so bad. But the thing is, don't bet against Apple. Don't bet against Apple. But I'm just not. I just don't know. I'm just not a big fan. There's no reason for it to have gone up other than it splitting. It's like need to find a few more. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody else have any other stocks they'd want to put on the list? Tesla, maybe, but Tesla's just so overvalued.
Nvidia's ran up too.
Nvidia's kind of in a bull flag, possibly long-term one, 2-month bull flag. Still overvalued though. I just don't see. Number one, I mean, I know what Nvidia does, but the crypto craze kind of died down. Like, what's fueling it? What's your bull case on Apple? I guess that's what I can't figure out. What's the bull case? Putting a new phone out every year? I mean, is that the bull case? That just keeps the company, making money, but not really, I mean, I don't know, accelerating the growth beyond belief. I mean, I think Amazon has a lot more potential, I guess. We're stuck on that one, Jerry. Got to try to put the top up of my Mustang, been down since March. It'd be tight. Yeah, icy tomorrow. What? Rear wheel drive. Yeah, that's Jerry. Rear wheel drive car in the snow.
Fun.
Yeah, I drove my Porsche in the snow, and that thing is not. It was not very snow friendly. Even my brother said it was because it's rear wheel drive and it's heavy because the engine's back there. What up, fellows? Happy New Year. Did Darth just have the Rona?
Yeah.
Yeah, hope he recovered okay with that. You wear a mask all day. How'd you get the Rona?
And he's vaccinated.
And you're like quadruple vaccinated, and you work out all the time. So you're in top-notch shape. Must be the White Claws you've been drinking. 93 Fox Body. 93, baby. Always enjoy the stream, guys. Question for both. On a big dip scenario, how far down would the SPY have to go before you start buying leaps? For me, I think the key for me is beyond 20%. Because I think a 20% is just a normal correction. But you start getting beyond the 20%, and those are starting to be like recession territory, bear market territory, in my opinion. So when you start hitting the 30 and the 35s and the 40s, that's where I'm going to start opening an eye.
Yeah, when you look at a chart, probably start really eyeballing stuff at 380.
Oh, Jesus. You're way down there. Let's take a look. on a daily chart, 380 is like, what the hell? You're off the chart, Gerry. But when you look at a bigger, like a weekly time frame, 380, it seems so far down,
It
but he's
does.
right
But
though.
you said 20% though. That's I think is that even 20?
You see let's just take what did you say, 380?
Yeah, that's not
Let's
even
just take the
20%.
all-time high. So that was 479, 380 divided by 479. That's 21%. It's just on a chart. It's scary looking because we've been going up for literally like 2 years straight, That's the problem. So it would look scary on a chart, but it's kind of what's needed, to be honest with you. Bring some fresh capital in. So, yeah, I would agree. Gerry, Gerry. Gerry, I agree. So anything beyond 20% is when I would start, okay, this is beyond a correction. I don't think we're going to be there. I don't think we're going to have like any 30% decline anytime soon, but a 20% could be likely, but I still don't see that happening either. I see a 10, 15, 20, a 10 to 15% I can see. There's a lot of money on the sidelines. Of course, I've mentioned that many times, and somebody called me out and said, I need to find out how I know that. And I have not done any homework on it, so sorry.
As far as when to buy leaps, I mean,
safe
I don't
delta.
know. When the bottom is in.
The thing is I don't think I've ever seen anything beyond a 50% decline, because 2008 was roughly around there. I mean, I've never seen anything past that, and something's got to be going on majorly in the market for that to happen. So if you're down 30% and you go down another 10, that's safe, in my opinion. Then the market's going to drop 40%. How often does that happen? And if it does, it comes up pretty quick usually.
Yeah. So what I think where we're getting at, if you start looking at leaps, if we've gone down 30%, you go down 10% from there. But I mean, you can buy at the money at that point, even because, is it going to stay down there for 2 years? If you buy a 2-year leap, probably not.
And if it does, you better get your freaking lead out of the closet. Because if it does stay down 40% for 2 years, there's probably something majorly going on. I just don't see it happening unless there's something. We're talking about like depression type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of wealth destroyed. I do think that we're headed for some weird thing like that at some point, though, because we talk about it all the time. How long can this continue on to push off that debt and inflate and stuff? You know what I mean?
Nah, I better not get into it.
Yeah, wait till you do the stream, Gerry, on your channel. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. I don't care. I think that pretty much answers that. What do we got here? Fox body, 4942 cc's.
See, I told you it's a 4.9.
It's a 5-liter, Gerry. You got to round it up, Gerry. See, Ford was very generous in the roundup. There you go. Didn't they make a 4.9 as well, though?
No, they made a 4.6.
Well, I think a 4.6, but didn't they? Mine was a true 5.0, because mine was bored over 30 over.
Oh, well, there you go.
So it was a 3.0. Was it a 3.06? I think it's a 3.06.
I think they made a 3.12 way back in the day, like in the 50s.
Oh, the 4.9 was the straight 6. Never mind. They put in the F-150s. They probably put in other stuff too, but they put a straight 6 in there. It was a 4.9, but you could get the 5-liter in there too, which was a 4.9 apparently. But those straight 6s that they put in the F-150s and all that, they normally weren't in the extended cabs, but they put them in the short bed. non-extended cabs, and the extended cabs normally is the 50 or the 351 Windsors. I know my Ford cars. I know my Ford trucks. I know my Ford engines. Let's see here. Yeah, the Coyotes, man, those damn Coyotes, Jerry. Those things rev to like freaking $9,000 and shit. They don't rev that quite that high, but they rev high for a V8. They sound amazing. Dr. Frozemal and all the CDC are making me work sick with a diagnosis of COVID. That's odd. Wait, you're not even staying home?
That's kind of crazy.
That is odd.
Well, I know they had like an emergency order. Some places brought out the freaking, I think California brought out the National Guard. So
Fauci needs to go away. He needs to find a hole and he needs to start burying himself in it because it's just, the guy has done a lot of damage and nobody respects the guy anymore. Nobody believes anything he says anymore. He's just done. He's done. You made your money, dude. You made your freaking money. You got your book. You got all, I mean, you got story. You're done, dude. Get out of here. Block user. Not blocking you, Darth. Okay, somebody else already got him. Dr. Frozenball. That's not froze. Foozenball. I don't know what he's talking about. Foozenball. See, is that Fauci? Still about Fauci?
Foosball.
Foosball. Yeah, what are you repeating what you said up there already?
He is. Must be getting to him.
Dr. Tard. COVID only matters when it fits their agenda. Yeah, that's very true. Clowns. Effing clowns. See here. He's an idiot as well as the CDC. Yeah, I agree. The CDC is kind of acting stupid too. I mean, they just are. Let's see here. James, going on, James. BRKB. I have owned for a few years. Good long-term hold. Tax efficient for taxable portfolio. There you go.
Essentially, it's an ETF.
Yeah, it's true. They don't pay a dividend, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you own that over an ETF though?
But you are exposed to a ton of quality companies in that stock.
How is it not an ETF then? What is it? Jeez.
It's a stock.
So what is it that he just buys a bunch of stocks and sticks them, packages them together or something?
Well, his company, Berkshire Hathaway, owns all these companies, and then you own the stock of Berkshire Hathaway.
So basically what you're saying is I have a fund manager.
Essentially.
That's taken an expense ratio off of it, right? Are they?
No, they don't.
No expense ratio, but so what that? Yeah, I'm trying to decipher the difference between the two. Who else does that? Who else has a fund out there? It's not a fund though.
There's
It kind of is though. They have shares that are outstanding.
There's oh man, I can't think of the name of those. There's a couple of people just like Berkshire though.
It's a stock of a stock.
Yeah.
Oh, like BlackRock or something?
Kinda, yeah. But I'm talking about, I mean, you're Berkshire, you're talking about a businessman, right? He's not just an investment or a financier, right? He's a businessman, so a little different.
Yeah, he's lost his touch, Gerry. Pelosi's destroying him. he should look into Berkshire Hathaway should look into Pelosi's holdings. Thankfully, cost basis is my 260. There you go, Gerry. Long-term capital gains. So 260. So he's good. Wait, no, well, yeah, no.
Yeah, he sold the 300.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. So good feeling. Okay, there you go. You got all the check marks checked there, Matt. Microsoft. I left that one out. I would go with Microsoft before I go with Apple for sure. I think Microsoft has more potential.
Man, that thing's been on a run too.
That's one of those stocks that you need in VYM. Yeah, so all of the big tech stocks have just they followed the Nasdaq. I mean, matter of fact, they're the ones that caused the Nasdaq to drop. So Apple. Let's take a look at Apple. Yeah, Apple looks the same. They've had a little bit of a decline, so they're the one causing the Nasdaq to drop. It's the big tech, Jerry. It's those damn bonds. Thanks for bringing that one up, Devin. We'll see. Apple VR AR coming in 2022 should move the stock. What's AR, Jerry?
I think it's augmented reality, if I recall correctly.
Mean? You got something that tickles your face or something?
Hell if I know. It's like craziness. It's like space and stuff.
Oh god.
Not space, but it's crazy technology is what it is. It's no longer
I don't know. It's going to take a while for that to catch on, in my opinion. And they're not the only player in that freaking field. They got other players that have been out a long time before them. Here's the thing. We talked about it before. They got $200 billion on the sidelines. $200 billion. And they do nothing with it. Nothing. They're not a big proponent of buying companies up. We already know that, right? I think originally Steve Jobs was like trying to save all that money because he wanted to destroy Microsoft so bad, right? Because Microsoft really, really screwed him, with the Lisa. Really screwed him, right? If you haven't seen the Pirates of Silicon Valley, I encourage you to watch the movie. Talks about it, right? So if it wasn't for Bill Gates playing hardball and doing what he did, there'd be an Apple on everybody's desktop right now, not a Microsoft machine or a Microsoft OS, I should call it, right? So the thing is, okay, Steve Jobs is gone. Maybe is it Tim Cook? Yeah, Tim Cook could buy some companies out. They don't buy a lot of companies. Would they buy the Beats company or whatever, Jerry?
oh yeah.
What else? They just don't buy a lot of companies. What are you going to do with the $200 billion? Put it to work. Put it to work. Do something with it. Make a freaking car. Make a car. And I will never buy it, but make a damn car. Jeez, do something. Until they do something like that, I really just not enthused about the company at all. Okay, put a new phone out. It's got 10 more megapixels than the last year's phone. There you go. It's working for them. Don't get me wrong, but
what would an Apple car look like?
Probably worse than a Tesla, and that's saying something.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I imagine it looking like a Tesla, in a way.
Why we've talked about this before. Bring some sports cars out. You know what I mean? You want to and I know there's people that have arguments here saying no, EVs just to go from point A to point B, but look, the performance in EVs are amazing, right? And destroy any other car out there. Make some damn sports cars, I might get excited a little bit, but they're more aerodynamic. You can't deny that.
You got to be able the aftermarket. If they get into the aftermarket, then it could do something. I mean, but have you seen a real fixed up EV? Like, you know what I mean? I've seen them on
performance
YouTube.
Parts, you mean? Ponies and shit?
Exactly.
Exhaust? What exhaust, Jerry?
I've seen them on YouTube. They're badass. But I mean,
you know what the upgrades are going to be, Jerry? They're going to be exhaust sound systems.
Yeah.
They're going to be speaker upgrades and stuff. That's what it's going to be. Springs, but we can lower it. You can lower it, Jerry. What else can you do?
Wheels on it.
Put window tint on it. Window tint, yeah. Upgrade the brakes. And then after that, you're pretty much done. Get more windings on your engines. Excuse me, I mistakenly said engine. Motors. They're called motors, Jerry.
They can bring in new fart sounds.
A fart plug-in pack. Yeah. 100 extra farts. 100 additional farts for free. Oh, man. I don't know what to say there, Playboy. International Playboy. at this point, anything new they come out with, it can help them, I think. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that they're a little late to that game. And the thing is, it'll probably work for them because there's such a major falling with Apple crap.
Yeah, this movement into virtual reality though is just weird to me. It's just weird.
Have you ever?
I've never done it, but we're already
It's actually pretty cool.
I would imagine so, but I think we're already detached from this world as it is. We're detached from each other. Everybody's on their phone. Drive down the street, everybody's on their phone while they're driving. It's like, what is so important on your phone?
I see people walking dogs by my house all the time, and they're on their phone walking their dog, and I'm like, seriously? Like, you can't go for 10 minutes without your phone?
And it's
Gerry, we're just from a different era, man.
And that's just going to get worse with the virtual reality. It's even worse because now you're going to be blinded.
Well, you can't drive obviously with those things on.
Well, you can if you have automated driving.
Oh God.
So
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is like weird.
It is weird. So I did try a pair of virtual reality goggles or something like that, and now they were they weren't very expensive, and all it did is you put your phone on it, and then you put it up to your face, and it was amazing. It was a freaking amazing how just a little device that you put your phone on, it was like a game or something like that. I was like, holy cow! Like you definitely felt like you were in the game. On NVIDIA, bull case is metaverse. The whole virtual reality thing. Every few years we see 3D fad, and now virtual reality fill the next fad. Okay. So it's really kind of getting out of a little bit of the crypto craze and then going more for yeah, I get that. I just think that the company's overvalued though. So what are they making? They making chips for these things or what?
Well, yeah, I would imagine it would need freaking crazy ass processors to.
They don't make
chips and processors and everything else.
They make high quality, graphics chips, cards. Right. Nobody ever brings up QCOM. Nobody ever brings up, any of the other chip manufacturers, almost ever. When's the last time anybody's brought Intel up on this stream, Gerry, besides us?
Never.
Nobody gets excited about Intel. I don't know why. You know why? Because they pretty much think it's never going to do anything because it hasn't done anything in a while, right? That's probably why. Just like AT&T, I guess. No, the problem with your Porsche in the snow was the bald-ass tires. That was true. They were bald. 285s, I think, were on the back of that thing. They were bald. I ever tell you the story that we almost wrecked that freaking Porsche the second day we owned it? It was the second day I owned it. Almost totaled it.
The second day?
The second day.
Was insurance activated?
I don't even remember. It might not have been. So we flew out to Missouri. I bought it from like a exotic car dealer out there. Flew out there. We drove it from Missouri back on I-40, and it was in Kansas, I think, Oklahoma or Kansas. And these things are coming down. I'm like, what the hell? A lot of bugs in this freaking. Let's get the hell out. A lot of bugs in this freaking, in this state. Come to find out, what was coming down was snow. But and it just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Driving and shit and going over freaking overpasses, and it's like, it's like, what the hell's going on? It got so bad that we had to stop, and we just slept in the Porsche, and then the next day wake up, and the roads are clear, but there's still snow on the ground, and I mean most of the roads are clear, but dude, I turned to get on the freaking on ramp, and the car just turned and just spun out like that. I started going down the on-ramp backwards right towards an 18-wheeler that was parked on the side. And literally, this is the trailer right here, and you can kind of go underneath the trailer assuming you had a really low car. right under, literally right towards the underneath of it. And I just, for some reason, we looked at me and I looked at him and we're done. And I was like, I just decided to step on the brakes and it just caught. I swear, we're just, I don't know, probably 6-7 feet away from the truck.
Nice.
Yeah, hell of a story. Ah, man, paid $36K for that car. That car's worth like 70, 80 grand or something now. What did we miss here? Gerry, what are you doing?
Stop it.
When Apple puts out their car, Tesla becomes BlackBerry quickly. Poor BlackBerry. Rest in peace, BlackBerry. I'm sure that probably, did that make you sad a little at all, Gerry?
BlackBerry? I never had one.
No, but I thought you were a big fan of them.
No. Wait, maybe I did have a. Did I have a BlackBerry?
BlackBerry really was a game changer back in like 2002, 2003. We had them on base and we had BlackBerry servers. I supported the BlackBerry servers, and our general, when he got off the plane, just couldn't wait to get on his BlackBerry, get his emails, So it was a game changer, It's just crackberries, Gerry. It's just, they're gone. They're gone. I don't think Tesla's going to become a BlackBerry. Come on, man. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a BlackBerry. I think I was like 2005 I got my first phone, or 2004.
That's your first phone?
I think so.
Jeez.
I waited.
Late bloomer there, huh?
I waited. Oh yeah, I waited. I waited it out.
I had a pager for a long time. I had to make those drug deals, When Apple puts out their car, Tesla will be coming out. I mean, I'd be excited for Apple if they did put a car out. Like I said, I'd never buy it, but I mean, I think they need to do something. They really need to do something. I thought they scrapped that project.
I thought they did too.
Just didn't Tesla scrap the Cybertruck project too, or is that actually coming to fruition, Gerry?
I think it'd be smart if they did. But I don't know if they did or
smart. You're probably right. It would be smart. There's not going to be a lot of people that are going to buy one for a traditional truck, though. What you looking up? Do I need to pause?
No, I'm looking up the Cybertruck. It looks like it's still available. You can
have to lower the price.
Order now.
They have to lower the price on it. You got the Lightning out there that's sold out.
Yep.
The wait listed. Hey, wait, you got the Silverado too coming out, right?
Silverado's coming out. Yep.
Yeah. You had Barr talking on TV this week, I think it was last week. And they're going to have a lot of EVs too. A lot of new models coming out. So don't count them out. Would you buy a freaking electric Corvette, Gerry?
No.
Well, let me ask you this question. Would you buy a rear engine Corvette? Wait, mid-engine Corvette versus like a C7?
That, yes.
Even if it came with an automatic only?
You got to have a manual gear. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because those paddle shifters and those transmissions are freaking badass now.
They really are, but peeling out, it's like really weird and stuff in them and all that. But it's just, I wonder how many people are actually in this chat right here and just don't even know what a stick is, like they've never even seen that little thing in the center console.
Like, why does it have 3 pedals?
Yeah, is this a dead pedal? There's 4 pedals in there, Gerry. One's a dead pedal. Metaverse is a way for Mark to control our minds even more, and people will line up to let them. So just naming the company from Facebook to Metaverse is just going to all of a sudden make it change and make them be evil and all that. I mean, it's already evil, but
no, they're in that virtual reality space too.
It just depends. If anybody here has seen the old movie Lawnmower Man, have you seen that one, Jerry?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah. Go watch that movie if you want to talk about virtual reality. Like it was kind of done. Was that in the 90s? I think that movie came out in the 90s. So yeah, it's an old movie about virtual reality, and it's like he takes over the world and just becomes like it's just I don't know. I don't really see what could be done. Like I guess with the virtual reality, it's kind of endless. But other than playing games and stuff, I mean, unless you're, I don't know what. I guess it's untapped, Jerry. It's untapped. I don't know
I
how
think
far it could
that's
go.
I think it's a huge problem for humankind. Um, a lot of these things are supposed to advance us, but you're gonna be disconnected from anything real. Like, I don't know.
It depends. Obviously, going to come in the game sphere first and all that. It might even
Right.
come into like, it probably is already in there, like conference rooms and stuff like that, where you actually feel like you're in the conference room, But I don't know. I just, it's also I think it's a double edged sword. I think too. This is kind of what Jerry's alluding to. Biden. Let's go, Brandon. See here. Harris could be she's definitely a
Could
problem.
be. Could be.
Talking about what you talking about, Willis? She is a problem. It's been follow the scientist, not follow the science. That's very true. Yeah, they don't follow science at all. They say they do, but they don't. Settle down, guys. Only 15 days to curb the spread.
Yeah, what are we at? 500, 600? Where are we at now? I don't even know.
The thing is, what I don't understand is if you reported the flu numbers every day like they do the COVID and all that, we'd be scared of the flu. You know what I mean? Like that's, but we don't. But because we report these numbers every day, and they're going up, it's like, look, if
See,
we did the same with the flu, we'd be scared of the flu.
that's what gets me. That's like this virtual reality thing. It's kind of the same thing. It's all freaking. It's all mind games. It's all programming. That's why they call programming's programs.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's only 15 days. Yeah, we're
They
still
don't
in a
call them
massive.
TV shows. They call them programs.
Uh, Chicago teachers refusing to work, only want remote classes. Yeah, teachers have just, I think they've gone too far on the other side where they want like 4 days off a week now. Or wait, they want Friday off, including the weekend. And like they're just beyond, and they probably get away with it too because of the damn unions. Um, the thing is what we need is more private school. What they really should do instead of they're never going to do this, but because property taxes pay for the schools, but it's not just that too. But really, they need to send everybody a coupon to send their kids to whatever school they want, private school or what. You know what I mean? That's what they really need to do. I think Ben Shapiro talks about this all the time. I'm a big Ben Shapiro fan. I like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
The guy has too much logic. That's the problem. He's too damn smart.
Yeah, I'd almost not want to talk to him.
Yeah, he's like Jordan Peterson.
You don't want to talk
Blows
to
your
him.
mind.
It'll be, how's your day and just some small talk, and you'd be like, huh?
Both those guys are they're just brilliant people. Makes me look like I got like a third grade education, Jerry. BRKB, most finance, insurance, and Apple II. Mostly insurance. Yeah, how is insurance doing, Jerry? You're a big prudential fan or whatever.
Doing well. I mean,
Prudential. Why? what would cause that to be up?
I think it's because a lot of them are still cheap as far as their
right.
PE and value. They're still
It's cheaper than Ford at this point.
Absolutely.
It's cheaper than Intel. It's so odd. Like, a lot of people work from home. They I mean, a lot of people weren't driving. I mean, what would cause them to be up?
That's the thing. A lot of people aren't driving, right? So less accidents. They still making the money,
That's
and
what I
they're having
mean.
less, and they're having
Okay,
less
so it's like a
claims.
reverse. It's
Right.
a
They're having
reverse of
less
what you
claims. So more profit.
It's a reverse what you think. Well, the thing is, a lot of people probably consolidate their cars, got one car, and I mean, there's a lot of things that happen like that. So they're keeping the premiums, Gerry.
But yeah, but I
That was,
mean, even with the run-ups, there's a lot of them are still cheap.
what's another one? Geico Public.
No, that's what Berkshire owns is Geico.
What's the what's
Look up maybe
Allstate?
Allstate, ALL. Oh, they had a little dip there in December, but they're on a run too. Now again,
Yeah. Wonder what caused their drop off. That's odd. Still cheap.
yeah, but all these, I mean, a lot of these insurance stocks are still single-digit PEs.
Yeah, let me look at the market cap here. Oops. So looking at, you got Chubb. So you got Progressive, Cincinnati.
Holy cow! Look at Progressive.
Progressive. Is it Progressive?
Jesus.
Oh, it's definitely Progressive. Holy cow. That one's expensive though.
Yeah, that one's
That
expensive.
one's more like that's it's double the price of Prudential as far as the PEs.
Like Travelers, no, that's not insurance.
Travel, yeah, travel doesn't count. American Financial.
What about something like MetLife?
Is that MET?
MET. There you go, another cheap one.
So is MetLife? They only do medical though, right?
Yeah, they do life insurance and stuff like that.
Okay. So that one's pretty much right at 52-week highs. Yeah, I never, I wonder who anybody here invests in them because I don't really invest in any insurance at all. But all right, so there you go. That's another good reason. So let's see if we can get to the bottom of these things here, Gerry. COVID is definitely the most dangerous thing in Chicago. Don't make me laugh, man. Remember to have your pom-poms, chips, dips, and adult beverages handy tomorrow night. Roll Tide. Don't you live in Florida? Aren't you like what's the Florida team, Gerry?
Which I mean, there's a bunch of them. What are we talking? Football?
He must be. Why are you from Alabama?
If we're talking, I mean, that's Alabama Roll Tide. Florida would be the Gators.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why he doesn't. What, are you from there? Or are you just one of those people that like moves your teams around to the ones that are winning every year?
The fair weather fan.
I mean, a friend of mine back in the day, I used to work with, was from Alabama. Like Tuscaloosa, Gerry. I mean, football is everything there. You know what I mean to them. Yeah. So
like Ohio too, Cornhuskers, and yeah, they're big time there. Just a real quick though, the Raiders are up 29-22 against the Chargers. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. Raiders win. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Gerry. So are they playing in just by PG? Don't they own Tide? They do. I think, well, yeah, it's one of those. Colgate or Johnson & Johnson or something. It's probably not Johnson & Johnson. Apple apparently could have bought Tesla. Yeah, they could have. That's what's funny. Actually, couldn't they? Well, they could probably still pull it off. They could probably still buy them. I mean, it's $1 trillion company, but is it $1 trillion right now? Let's see. It's close.
Close enough. What's a few billion between friends?
Could they? Let's see. Could they pull it off? They could put 20% down, Gerry.
They could pull it off. They got good credit.
They could pull it off. Leroy Skywalker. I love Intel. There you go. We got one person at least loves Intel.
Somebody.
Well, maybe we got some more. See, Intel fell behind the curve. Yeah, but to the problem is you're comparing the 7 nanometer to like AMD's 7 nanometer, and that's not the right way to look at it. That's the problem. If Intel's 14 nanometer is as fast as a 10 nanometer or something like that AMD puts out, why does it matter? But yes, that is a big thing that people knock on them about. The 12 gens that are coming out this year should be a killer. Should be awesome. They should be coming out later this year, I think. The 12 gen, I was waiting to get a 12 gen laptop, so I can't wait, actually. Making a good value play. It's not just that either, though. They have a lot of other business sectors, too, that they make money from. But, yeah, they're riding the ship. The CEO, I worked for him, so I totally have faith in the guy. Like, he led up, worked for our company, and then he moved on to VMware, and then was there for quite a while at VMware. And then, but you got to understand that he also worked for Intel way back in the day for many years. So he's not new to Intel. He if anybody can right the ship, it's gonna be him. If Intel cannot be fixed, then this is gonna be. We're gonna find out if he cannot or can't fix it. But anyways, it's good to have somebody that's actually pro Intel here. Good night, guys. Good night. Dev, manual transmissions are a new anti-theft.
Pretty much true, yeah.
That's kind of funny, actually. Jesus. Oh, man. Especially when you got one that's not an H pattern. Like the Porsche was kind of interesting because reverse was like pushed down over and to up and to the left or whatever. So very odd. People are selling virtual land for millions of dollars. Manual transmissions. You ever had the club, Gerry? Do you ever put a club on your car?
Absolutely. Didn't you?
Yeah, I got one for Christmas. Clubs. This world is done. Time to hit the reset button. It's tough, man. Here you have to show ID plus pass vax card to enter any public space, but showing ID to vote is racist. I've made that same argument before. It seems odd to me that when I said it, people didn't understand. Like, doesn't it seem like it's an obvious thing to do to show ID to vote? Or somehow like to get voter registration or something like that, Gerry?
It would
Both
make
of those
sense
things,
to
right?
me, but I don't know.
You got to be a citizen, so there you go. Like, I mean, who doesn't have an ID? If you don't have an ID, go get an ID. Maybe it's not a driver's license, but you get an ID, right? But when you bring that up to the left, they say that's racist. It's obviously it would restrict voting because some people don't want to get IDs, right? I mean, it is what it is, but how do you know who's who? How do you know who's a citizen? I mean, I don't know. Seems weird. Show. Y'all sound like boomers when it comes to VR. We do? It's not. We just don't understand what is going to change. What is going to be used for? I guess. That's virtually as sex, Gerry. Not together, of course. So HIG, AL, AOC. Yep. Okay, got those. These insurance stocks are good dividend growth stocks. I don't have any, but I don't. I think they're fine. We are down at the bottom, Gerry, at low valuations right now, minimal risk. They are low valuations, but some are at 52-week highs. I don't know if I can touch them up there.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some, before March 2020 or just after, they were trading at like 2 PEs. It was like ridiculous. So they're cash cows for sure.
Those have been a good recovery play, reopening plays for sure. So anyways, we all enjoyed hanging out, and it is another week past. Markets are pretty much just flat at this point. Crypto is actually, what's that?
That works for me.
Yeah, crypto is pretty much it's up 0.6%. So appreciate everybody hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you on Sunday.
See you guys.
Rest in peace, Bob Saget.